5.
Hello.
We are at the moment down 1 player, but hoping that she'll pop on before we really get into anything. Hello everybody, I am Ari. I am the kind and benevolent DM who happily has gotten past the headache that was trying to kill me earlier. Other than playing everything else in the game, I play Darvan, our super useful heal tank person. Not heal tank, healing monkey.
Monkey's a good word.
Bag.
Monkey in every sense of the word.
Who unfortunately is the best at actually socializing, which means I talk to myself a lot. We also have Zeke here.
Ahoy. I play Adin. He's our sorcerer.
And he shoots things.
He has a lot of shooting things, because spells is just kind of complicated sometimes.
And he opens
And
doors.
yeah.
Lots of doors.
Chests, windows. Is it openable? He probably will.
He hasn't done that since the hallway of doors.
There hasn't been any doors.
Yeah, we haven't had more doors like that, so.
We also have Mia.
Hi. I play Sorin, the resident druid, who is, like usual, low-level druids, not entirely sure what the heck he's doing. And he gets accompanied by his far more successful animal companion, Cubla, who is mainly here for the entertainment value and the food.
Mostly the food.
Lots for the food, but also a very large part for the entertainment value. Gets boring on a mountain.
And we've also got Will.
Yes, I play Saerenrae, fourth barbarian who, alcohol, fighting, brothels, you name it.
Yep.
So all the pleasures of life, apparently.
Yes.
Still not entirely sure why this band is traveling together, but we're working on that.
Maybe
It's a
we will
slow and
never
difficult
know.
process.
We may never know. It may just be because they're used to it now.
It
may just be that none of us want to.
Half the people
They're
enjoy...
using you all as just
Bait.
Bait.
And most of the rest of the people just like to make fun of Darvan.
Yeah, that's good.
People won't speak here, so that's why Soren's here.
Michelle is not yet here. We're hoping she shows up. She plays Ine-sam'dau, the svirfneblin oracle. I think this is like one of the first times we've actually said her name and things since like the first episode.
Better known as Trogdor the Burninator.
Because she burninates things.
Lots
Like
of
buildings
things.
with people in them.
Yeah, Darvan's... yeah. That's a sore
I
point
think
for
that's
Darvan.
an argument that is still going on.
Inez, you weren't in the building when I lit it on fire.
Would say Darvan. No, would say Inez. Usually in response to Darvan going, I didn't know it was on fire! Kind of thing. Anyways, so our summary of last time is very short because we didn't end up doing much of anything. Because the first part of it, we sort of did a end-of-year
Board meeting
where we were all really bored. Or you guys were bored while I blathered.
you were bored too.
I think you were bored too.
So, but it was very useful for me because it gave me some ideas about what to do in the future. You know, it's very important to talk about these things sometimes. And then we tried to get into a regular game, and our internet modem just kept turning itself off. Kind of like my car is right now.
It had narcolepsy. It was tired.
Yes, it had narcolepsy.
Yeah.
Did we manage to do anything?
We talked about the fact that
Oh, you guys
Sorin
decided-
went to alchemy lessons.
You decided kind of what you did in town and where you were going next. Sort of, if you discussed the possibilities of heading back where you came from, of going back to the original village, moving on to a village that is having trouble with kobolds. You know, you guys.
We chose to go to the kobold place.
You chose to
And
go
we were
to
also,
the
we
kobold
also got
place.
drinks at Red Dragon Inn and did not end up unconscious.
Yes, you did successfully escape the Red Dragon Inn in a conscious state with your gold.
Mostly, sober.
Mostly sober. Inez didn't want to go because they had a drink that was on fire. She took it with her.
I think she stole it.
She didn't steal it. She very blatantly walked out the front door with it. Very blatantly.
Yeah.
But it was on fire.
And also, it did end up getting paid for.
It did, yes.
Because we have a force with a lot of money who doesn't want to get into trouble with a famous inn.
Famous, infamous. Yeah, famous,
famous in it.
Infamous. Okay, so one of the things we decided was that yes, using my cool overland travel deck is a great deal of fun. And since we are traveling overland between whatever town we were in that my brain doesn't want to think of, it had an S in it.
New Sarshal.
New Sarshal. Yes, it had several
How did
S's.
you even pull that out of your butt?
Did you have notes
Like
or something?
how?
No, I didn't.
Oh, he just pulled it out of his butt.
Yeah.
You guys are headed toward the town of Ruinspoke. You don't know much about it. It is a fair amount of travel away.
What was the name again?
Ruinspoke.
That's not imposing names at all.
No, not at all. Would you rather be Happy Sunshine Village? That usually
That sounded dangerous at all.
that is usually just as bad, actually, when it's named something like that. Fluffy purple punnies.
Pretty pony.
So, you guys leave the town of New Sarshal. And let's see what happens to you as I pull a card from the deck.
Woo.
Hey guys, I found a sad post that describes our political system entirely.
No dear.
Kind of.
A
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah. So, you guys are traveling along the road.
That's new and different.
Very new and different. And it is bright sunny outside. It's good weather for now. And you come across, at a crossroads, a group of 3 people. You have an elf, a human, and a halfling. And the halfling is holding onto a box. And
I
they're
feel like this is the setup for a joke.
an
Wait,
elf, a
give me
human,
the-
and a halfling walk into a bar.
An elf, a human, and a half-orc walk into a bar. The halfling walks under it.
That one's not bad. So they are obviously arguing. The halfling is holding on to this box, which is about as big as he is. And he is yelling at the other ones, and they keep gesturing at the box. And obviously, they want to see what's in the box, and he does not want them to see what's in the box. And they are arguing about the box. And it looks like they might come to blows. It's about to that point. The arguing is very fierce. Have you guys paused? Or are you going to continue to approach?
No one's called for pause, so Aiden's still walking forward.
Same presenter. She's just... Meh.
Hey, Aiden, it's a box that you don't know what's in it.
Oh dear.
But it's not my box.
No. As you get closer, you can...
involved with the box.
Yeah, it's not a door, so... yeah, you get closer and you start hearing them a little more clearly. It's my box! Yes, but we all put stuff in it, so we have equal share. My box! And the third guy's like, wait, what did we put it? What's in the box? And the elf is like, don't you remember we put all of our treasure from the last thing? Because he had a box that he said we could... Wait, what's in the box? It doesn't matter, it's my box! You put it in and now it's mine! And, you know, it's about onto the... It's starting to get comical and you're half expecting them to start, like, punching each other in the nose and poking each other in the eyes.
Ah, so we're coming up on the Three Stooges.
Obviously, apparently.
So which one's Larry, which one's Curly, and which one's Mo?
I don't know, because I don't know how to tell them apart. I don't know the Three
Me either.
Stooges.
Let's first to say that they are the Three Stooges, and we have no idea which one's which.
The elf grabs hold of the box, tries to rip it out of the halfling's hands, while the, what did I say, human? Is trying to, like, calm them down, and he sees you guys approach, and he's like, guys should have brought the treasure in the box! Ixnay on the Oxenberry! There are people coming! The elf picks up the box, halfling and all, and hides it behind his back.
Well, that's not suspicious at all.
Soren's over there trying really hard not to laugh because it's being very effective.
You guys have reached the crossroads and are face to face with an elf and a human, and there's a halfling hanging from a box behind the elf. Get your filthy elf hands off my box! The elf drops the box, whirls around, glares at the halfling. What did you say? I take a bath every night, thank you very much. I know, and we're the ones that have to help you heat it all up. The human goes, wait a minute, what's this we? I'm the one with the fire spells. I'm the one that you make do all the work. Darvan's just kind of speechless. He's like, is this
Darvan,
a family squabble?
Hey, Darvan.
That's a
I think we
weird
found a group
family.
that argues more than we do.
No, I don't think they're to that point yet.
I don't know.
I believe they're having an unusual occurrence of lots of argument. Ours is just constant.
The halfling sits on the box.
You
Mine!
see my family arguments.
Darwin's like, guys, do we just keep moving on? This
Yeah.
is really weird and awkward.
Yeah,
I
let's
don't
go.
know what we can do to help, because
We can smash the box
obviously
with
the
nobody's box.
problem is the box.
Obvious. Or what's in the box.
Or something.
Or what's in
Something to do with
their
the box.
head.
Darwin's like, I vote for moving on.
Let's move.
I feel kind of the same.
So you guys kind of sidle past while suddenly the halfling, like, starts punching the elf's kneecaps, and the elf just kind of laughs at him.
Soren's like, I'm not sure what's going on.
And Darwin goes, me neither. And he just kind of goes on past the human, like, waves at you awkwardly and gives you a shrug of, this happens all the time. And then you guys keep walking.
Yep.
After a while, it's probably a good time to stop for food. Who wants to cook? Who knows how to cook? Is there Do you guys know how to cook?
I think Sorin does.
What would be the skills we look at here?
Let me take a look.
Would it be the survival?
It partially depends on the kind of cooking you're doing. So tell me,
cooking.
just
Sorin can do it over cooking, like over the campfire. And stuff.
the equivalent of tinfoil dinners and hot dogs cooked over campfire type of cooking.
Yeah,
We're camping.
we're camping. We're
Well,
paddling.
I didn't know if you guys wanted to do something fancier.
No, I think that would happen at night when we're done moving.
Okay, survival.
All right, so
Yeah,
do
got a
it.
plus
I
7.
think everyone else does not have as much.
I've got a plus 7.
I have 10.
Okay.
Good one.
I like that. Oh.
I have a 5.
I have a
Guys,
1.
he's the druid.
Yeah, he is the druid.
Survival.
Now the other question is does Sorin feel like making things for everybody, or does he like slap together some sandwiches with maybe some foraged stuff to make it taste better than boring old sandwiches?
He makes something relatively good.
Filling and tastes
Off
fine.
of whatever they have. I'm sure that he's been, that time that he was rummaging around the forest to go find stuff for Inez. He got a bunch of food things.
So you make probably something similar to a sandwich. Just slap it. It's thrown together and it's edible on the go. No fire required. But it tastes pretty good because you found some kind of plants or stuff that you guys could layer on with the meat and such. And yeah, it tastes good. It's filling. It's got good flavor to it. Even Darvan can't complain.
I'm pretty sure Darvan could complain if he wanted.
Darvan's pretty good at
Also,
complaining.
Sorin kind of throws a little bit of the jerky that they got from that one place at Cubla. Who noms?
Yum.
Happy noms.
Okay, and so after that, you guys continue on.
That was a very calm event.
Lunch?
Yeah, no,
Or
I
the
meant
box?
Treasure. The box.
The box, yeah. It ended up being. I wasn't sure where to go with it. They don't all have to be big, huge, exciting things.
No.
Remember we had the wedding?
Saw a group of people arguing and went,
Nope.
nah.
Yeah, they have enough of it.
It's like, no.
Right, Darvan and Inez?
Everybody roll me a d20.
For each character?
Yes. Well, no, just for Sorin.
Okay. Wow, Darvan.
Yeah, Darvan. Darvan.
Wow, Darvan, wow.
Wow, Aiden. Wow, Zenra.
So, you guys have been traveling for a while, and Darvan goes, kind of pauses, and he's like, there's a couple of trees around here. I'm gonna go around behind the tree for a moment. Just for a moment. Might be a good time if anybody else needs a moment. So he quickly runs behind a tree. And you, after a moment, you heard kind of a, that had to go for a while, and then you get to go kind of sound. This is awesome. We get arguments over boxes and people going to the bathroom. That's a great start.
And food. Don't forget lunch cooking.
These are the things that people usually forget. They never have their characters eat, and they never have their characters go to the bathroom, and most of the time their characters don't get to take baths either. So...
Yeah,
and
we're
then,
just having a great time.
then, a few moments later, you hear kind of and flapping noises, and Darvan cursing, and he runs out from behind the tree, like refastening his clothes. He's like, a raven just stole my purse, coin pouch. And you guys see it.
Just stole your purse.
Well, it is actually a potentially accurate term. Depends.
Yeah.
Who knows? But while he was taking care of things, Raven in the trees heard the jingling of his purse and stole it off his belt. And is now flying away with it. And Darvan is running after it. And he's like, "Get back here, you stupid bird! Sorin, can you get your cat to catch the bird?" And he's disappearing.
How far up is it?
It is fairly low to the ground. It's actually flying just in front of Darvan as if to torment him.
Question.
Yes, answer.
Well, actually, two questions. One, would maybe magic missile damage the bag too much?
Probably not.
And two, would we get a chance to rest again before we get to our actual module?
Yep.
Okay. Adin uses magic missile with the intent of stunning the bird, make it drop the bag.
Okay.
Soren's also telling Cubla, go after that. Go after the bird.
So.
And Cubla goes, lunge! Leap, bound.
Magic missile doesn't miss.
No.
I know.
How do you want me to roll for it to see if it drops the coin purse?
Roll a d20. Also roll damage.
And there's two magic missiles, because magic missile.
Okay, so the missiles slam into the bird, chink, chink, and it seems stunned and starts to fall from the sky. And then it kind of staggers and catches itself, and Darvan almost leaps on it because it's lost enough ground that he is right on its tail feathers. And then it manages to partially catch itself and not face plant into the ground. It loses hold on the bag with 1 foot. It's now barely carrying it in 1 foot. One set of claws.
What would you like Cubla to roll to see if she catches it?
Roll an attack.
I wasn't sure. Because I could have rolled like acrobatics or something. Alright.
Mom!
Trying to think of how.
Did you say nom or mom?
Nom!
Num.
Yum.
Nums.
Yum.
Cubla's gonna try and knock it out of the sky.
Okay. Wow. Cubla leaps up and manages to land on the bird. Is she trying to kill it or just catch it?
She was basically just trying to catch it for now. And then she'll eat it, but it has a non-edible thing attached to it, and she wants that gone.
She crashes down onto the ground with it, and you hear a crunch and a squawk that kind of cuts off in the middle. And you have a very dead raven. A poor dead raven who was just curious. Or
But Kubla's hungry.
maybe a thief. Maybe it wasn't poor raven. Maybe it is the thief pet of a powerful sorcerer who's now going to be angry at you. Who knows? We'll find out. But she successfully
so no one cares.
knocks it down on the ground and breaks its back.
And she like moves away from it and glares at Darvan like, get the thing off
He's
the
like-
bird.
He's jogging behind her, catching up, and he's like, and he grabs.
Judgmental stare.
What? He's like, you could have waited for more than a half second after my hand was out of the way. I'd check to see if I still had all my fingers.
She kind of just stuck her tongue out a little at him. It's like, meh.
He sticks his tongue out right back at her.
There's this low growling noise.
He ties the bag more tightly onto his belt now. And then just pretends that nothing happened, and he's like, are we ready to keep going now?
I'm not sure why we stopped.
You okay, Darvan?
Yes! He starts marching off towards the town. Actually... yeah, he marches off in the direction of the town. So you guys go on for a while longer.
Hold
It
on.
starts getting dark.
The town's the other way.
Aw.
No, it's not! Dumbass. I think he's stomping up in front of the whole group. Stomp, 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 stomp.
Cubla goes up next to him and rubs against him.
What? Like, what? Well... He mutters, "Thank you for catching the bird."
Go back, sword.
So you guys continue on for a while, a couple more hours of walking. It's starting to get dark. Do you guys want to continue going in the dark, or would you like to stop for the night?
Darren's like, I'd recommend stopping. I mean, there's like only one of us who can't see in the dark, but I don't want him to like catch on a root and face plant or something.
I would not do that kind of thing. We have torches!
You could tie a rope around his waist.
We have torches!
And light spells.
No, I'm pretty sure we need to stop so that the one who can't see in the dark won't face plant.
There are torches!
And who's gonna carry it?
Me? I have hands! Or maybe we should stop for the night because it's late and everybody's probably hungry for actual food and sleeping.
Excuse me.
Hmm.
That was food.
It was fine. But if everybody else wants to keep going, I will be just fine, thank you very much.
Adin, in his spare time, has used his dancing light spell to create his 4 lights twirling around his hands for fun.
Of course. He doesn't need lights, but...
Yeah, but they're different colors and cool looking.
Stealth.
Okay. She is
She
stealth.
sneaks up by Darvan and like bumps into him.
Well, I'd have to say the question of stopping or going is how far it is to our destination.
It is a several-day walk. This is just the first day.
Yeah. Well, I would probably suggest finding a place to camp.
After some looking around, you guys do find a pretty decent little grove to camp out in. There's obvious signs that other people have used it for the same thing. You know, there's kind of cleared out spots and a large dirt circle where people have ripped out the grass for a fire circle and things like that. So you guys can camp out for the night, set up there.
I thought we can camp out tonight.
Nothing really happens tonight to you guys. You set up camp quite easily. I imagine you guys probably take turns guarding. But
Sorin angrily makes a nicer dinner and glares at Darvan.
I'm passive-aggressively making a better food.
Our group is one dysfunctional little family.
Do you remember that this group originally got together because of Darvan?
Yeah.
Yeah, well now it looks like Darvan may manage to make everybody angry at him.
Adin doesn't care at the moment.
Yeah.
Sorin just felt slighted because he was like, get some actual food.
It was good. It just wasn't satisfying in the same way as a full meal. It was a sandwich.
I don't
Sorin
want to know how long
glowers.
this candy cane has been on my bookshelf.
I would probably not eat it.
Flower.
He tries to spend some time explaining himself, then he huffs and gives up. And goes over and, like... He decides to go to bed early. He doesn't have the first shift. He has a shift in the
Cubla is
middle.
also angry at him for no other reason than you made my human angry. How dare you, human? Clumsy human.
So your meal was delicious, probably some form of stew. Everybody raved about it because it was amazing.
Sorin feels somewhat better for thanks to that.
Cubla, it would have been amazing if it didn't have so many vegetables.
Yeah. Next time her human turns into a cat, she's gonna, like, yell at him for it.
And maybe some cobalt.
Yeah,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
could be nice.
Yeah, so-and-so's just been going along with you guys.
Yeah.
Note to any potential listeners, we forgot to mention that Michelle also plays so-and-so, the kobold
Which-
Yeah.
who's fallen in love with our druid.
Since she wasn't here, I forgot that he existed.
Yeah, so-and-so exists.
So any continuous listeners...
So now
So-and-so did
Soren's
not
probably
listen to
angry
the
at me since I forgot about so-and-so. So you guys strike camp in the morning. Nothing really happened in the evening. I imagine Cubla went out, caught some breakfast.
Yep.
Sorin made a light breakfast.
Cubla brought something back for Sorin. Sorin is somewhat grateful, even though she basically just dropped it in his lap while he was still asleep and went, "Look, food! Eat!" It's better than the time that she dropped in his face.
Human, you need to eat more. It's like, bring back, like, a leg of rabbit and wait for him to open his mouth in his sleep and just drop it in there.
Yeah.
At least it's not like that time.
Yeah.
You guys strike camp, kind of clean up, get headed out again.
My vote is that so when it comes to the campfire, Adin starts it and Sorin takes it down because Sorin has create water and can drown it.
Yeah, not a bad idea.
And Adin will literally magically do anything he can to magically make things easier.
Putting out fires isn't as awesome looking as starting them.
No, he just doesn't know. That's his excuse. The real reason is he doesn't have a clue how to put them out with magic.
Oh,
Sorin just likes creating water over stuff, fires,
Darvan.
plants, people,
Darvan.
especially Darvan.
Okay, so you guys head out again. It's a fairly slow road, which is actually kind of odd. Nobody's passed you because you're moving fairly quickly because there's not very many of you. You don't have wagons or horses. Well, you don't have horses, but you're moving faster than like some slow-moving wagons and other people that are walking. You guys probably get passed by somebody on horseback once in a while, but not as much as you might expect on what's apparently a major road between two fairly large towns. You don't really have anybody. You haven't passed very many people coming towards you either.
To be fair on that point, the New Sarshall has that bandit problem. It's probably news has probably spread some.
New Sarshall has a
Ruined
bandit
Spoke
problem,
has the kobolds.
and Ruin Spoke has a kobold issue, but you know how it is. There's
There's usually people.
creatures all over the
No
place.
problem.
You guys haven't seen any wildlife either, which is kind of odd because it's not common around a major road, but you usually see something. A deer here.
Clearly Cubla found something to eat.
She did. It was a rabbit, so a local thing. Fairly small though, and she hasn't seen hide nor hair of anything since, nor has anyone else.
Now she's probably whining at Sorin because hungry, 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 hungry.
Sorin, why is Cubla whining?
Meow. Meow.
I don't know, but it's getting on my nerves.
Knowing our friend Cubla, it's probably she's hungry.
That's normally what it is.
Meow.
If you keep eating so much, you're gonna get fat.
Meow. Offend noise.
Well, you can't deny
I imagine she immediately starts ignoring Sorin and goes over and starts hanging out with somebody else.
Darvan.
Zenra, Darvan, somebody.
Darvan.
Darvan.
He's ever does have a lot of handle animal.
There's like a couple of minutes, and then he just hears like meow, 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 meow.
Darvan's like, I don't speak cat.
Meow, meow, meow.
I don't know what you want. I don't understand cats.
You're not my cat.
I don't know what you want.
Meow.
He puts his hands over his ears and keeps walking.
She's continuing to cry out.
Is she going to stick with him or is she going to go to someone else?
Goes over to Adin. Meow.
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 Meow. Meow. Meow. Meow. It's like giving him the worst judgmental stare.
So-and-so's starting to look pretty tasty.
Yeah. Now she's following behind him.
Not meowing.
Really closely.
So-and-so goes Sorin.
Yeah?
Sorin, my love.
Yes.
Your cat. I
I
think
guess that's what's going on.
I think she just licked my tail.
Cubla. Cubla. Only I'm allowed to do that.
Meow. Meow. She's doing her best to look like a dying, starving cat.
Sorin, we did not need to hear that.
Well, it's true.
So Aiden goes up and walks next to Darvan. I don't know them.
Soren's like holds piece of jerky up by his shoulders.
By his shoulder?
Yeah, by his shoulder.
Pounce on Sorin.
Ah!
Yum, 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 yum.
I may not have thought that through.
You guys keep walking?
Yep.
Yeah.
Half the day passes. Is there anything you guys want to do other than walking? Do you want to watch for anything specific?
We're on our way to a town.
On your way to town. You're making
Sorin
good time.
goes through the forests every so often as he gets bored walking.
Like, diverts off into the forests and
Follows along.
meets up with you
comes
guys
back every so
again.
often.
He
He continues to look for the plants that Inez needs.
He continues to find various things. Nothing worth any great amount, but he picks up things that would be delicious in lunch. He finds a couple of things to help out Inez. He probably keeps so-and-so with him so that he can keep an eye on him and make sure that Cubla doesn't try to eat him.
Obviously, Cubla's looking for food.
Well, lucky for her, a small stag darts out of the forest right in front of you guys. Darvan, everybody roll a d20 to see.
It's time for each person.
Yeah, for each person.
Sorin. Cubla.
Saerenrae, Cubla, Zenra and Cubla, you each get to react to the stag. The others are too slow to notice.
Kubla's like, food!
Leap pounce!
Yep. She gets like an attack.
Razor claws.
She can do an attack. Zenra, you can do one action, whether it's an attack or...
Probably would.
She rolled a 1 on the first one.
Take a swing at it.
Roll to confirm that one.
Okay.
Okay, so she so excitedly leaps at the stag that she actually jumps right over it, whirls around, and leaps back on it. So the second one hits. Zenra, you hit, so you both hit. Zenra, I imagine, like, just darts up.
Probably while Kubla's on the other side of the stag.
Interesting. My screen's showing that I rolled a 20.
Actually, so's mine.
Yeah, I see
Mine
a
shows
22. I see a 20 and a 3.
Either way,
I see 12 on the attack.
which is the 3.
3
Where'd
plus
that 20
9.
even come from?
That's a good question, because there is a d20 at the bottom of the screen that is a 3.
I'm talking about.
Well,
Do you guys have, like,
regardless...
dice enabled or something?
Yes.
Yeah. You'll have to see weird glitches like this.
Well, also the 4...
Interesting.
One of the d6s is, like, exactly halfway between the 4 and the 5. Okay, so you both hit. Cubla only hits with one of them. Let's see. Total of 18. You stagger the stag. But
Kubla's like, woo!
it's not dead yet.
Still food!
So go to put it out of its misery.
Yeah, Cubla and Zenra, you're right next to it. If it's not dead after you guys do another attack, everybody else can do things.
Nom.
Yeah, no, okay,
Very
it's...
dead-looking stag.
Yep. So, basically what happens is the stag bursts out of the forest next to you. Cubla, like, instinctively leaps at it, leaps over it, manages to, like, whirl around before she's even entirely on the ground, and jump at it again. At the same time, Zenra lunges forward and smashes it, and then Cubla...
It staggers.
It staggers a little bit. Cubla leans forward to bite into its throat from one side while Zenra, like, breaks its back with the other.
So it's
And
the
Darvan...
hell just happened?
Yeah, Darvan barely realizes that there's a stag there before suddenly it's dead.
Darvan,
This
you
is
ever
why
try to
I'm
see the
afraid
front
of
thing to
Cubla.
sniff things?
Darvan's like, maybe I do need glasses.
If you need glasses because you couldn't see that, I didn't see that either.
It was so fast!
It's Cubla.
True.
Crunch munch, crunch munch.
Hey, Sorin, Kubla's working on eating the deer. Did you want to try to save any of that for dinner?
Yeah, Sorin goes over and is like, Cubla, 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 Cubla,
Damn.
Cubla.
He's like,
Right
let
there. Do it.
let me dress down the deer. We don't want
Cubla. Cubla.
tooth marks
Cubla.
in our food.
Cubla move. What's the other thing?
We'll save. Cobla sulks off.
They probably have worked this out. Let's be honest.
stomps off and sulks.
Sorin now gets to have some meat.
Roll survival.
Adin shuffles around in his bag, throws a piece of jerky at Cubla.
Oh, jeez.
Wow,
Wow.
you managed to... So, you managed to get Cubla away before she really did a whole lot of damage. And so, you get off the skin of the stag off mostly in one piece.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole thing only takes you maybe half an hour to section out everything, and it's like boom, boom, boom. It's like magic hands. It's watching.
Sorin's like showing off 50 years of experience in the wilderness.
It is Food Network D&D edition.
Darvan,
You are the Iron Chef.
Darvan, I think we're being shown exactly how to do it.
Darwin's like, his
Sorin's
hands
like,
are
"Am I supposed to
moving.
tell you?
His hands are moving too fast to see what he's doing. So very
Okay.
soon, you have a neat pile of meat, you have a pile of bits that Cubla is allowed to eat, you have the skin, you have the antlers.
Yeah. Sorin's like, okay, did we move on now? Want to move on now?
We probably
Like, dust hands off.
And you didn't, you managed to, like, get very little blood on you.
Yeah. He's just, want to move on now?
Lives on some of the bones. Several said Zeno would take probably some of the bones.
Okay, yeah. You guys get every piece of that stag that you want to get. It is the very skillfully dissected.
Adin picks up the antlers, looks at them. You guys want? Who wants to carry the antlers?
Sorin's like,
Because we probably make some decent coin off of this.
Darvan actually looks kind of nauseous, actually. He's never seen an animal.
Dissected.
He pretty much bought it sliced into chunks in the market.
Sorin grins at him.
Adin's from the city. There are hunters who bring the meat in so the experts can take care of it. So
Experts like Sorin.
It's actually
no,
kind
Sorin just.
So-
Even Adin's impressed.
Yeah, Sorin is like, what that thing was 5 times better than the hunters that you've seen.
Sorin,
Yeah?
there are masters in the city, not in the cities not east of where we started, from where I came from.
Yeah.
There are masters there who could learn a few things from you.
There is something you learn when you spend like 50 years in the wilderness. That's one of them.
Darvan goes, wait, you've never told us how old you are.
Sorin laughs. You do remember that I'm, not human?
Yes,
I think that came out already.
yes.
I'm 144.
Wow.
Cubla's too.
She's so cute and young next to you.
I thought
My first thought, out of characterly, when you said 144, I was like, oh, that's gross. But because the gross of something is 144. Out of characterly, that was my first thought.
how old are you, Darvan?
That is a good question. How old are you, Darvan? He's like, why?
That's because I'm curious.
I'm old enough. I'm a man. I'm fine. Not
How old are you?
144. Jeez, that's
How old are
crazy.
you?
That's like
Darvan?
not really any
I'm
of
not
your
human.
business. let's just keep going
I
now that
told
you've got your
you.
food. Let's go. Moving on.
Darvan?
Aiden picks up
How old
the
are you?
Let's move on.
Yeah,
Anybody
it's
wanna
all going
roll?
to come out with-
Anybody want to roll a perception check?
Of course. It's crap, but...
Darvan looks about 17. He looks about 17.
Soren. Leans in close. How
Darvan.
old are you, Darvan?
Darvan's walking. He ignores you.
Rolled intimidate.
Soren, can I recommend
old are
giving
you?
him up? He looks 17.
Is he 17?
Yes.
How he's young?
Yes.
Jeez. Why do we have a kid?
I am that. What? Darvan walks faster.
And I thought I was young at 75.
Darvan walks faster. He's like speed walking.
Darvan, if you walk that fast, you're gonna trip and fall.
I am not gonna trip and fall.
Just out of curiosity, how old are you, Zenra?
Darvan trips and falls. No, he doesn't trip and fall. He trips on
stumbles.
something and stumbles, but he does not fall.
Well, you asked. 20.
Now that I'm curious,
Soren,
Yeah?
why are we so old?
because you're not human.
We're a weird species. I'm not fully human. You're not fully human. Not fully human. Cubla's really not human.
being partial elemental, I guess.
Inez is
a,
55.
Being partially elemental does wonders for your appearance. You can look young when you're 70.
Yeah, I still look young at 140, so...
So you guys travel. Darvan's not speaking to anybody for a while.
Cubla is like all happy being around him, like, look, you're young, like, sort of thing. So she's just like bouncing around him. Bounce, 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 bounce.
He
bounce.
figures
I
she's
also get side effect from eating all that meat.
yeah. He's gonna assume that she's just happy because she got food.
Bounce, 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 bounce.
Be like,
bounce, bounce.
Soren, your cat is hyper.
That's what happens when you feed her meat.
So you
A
guys
fair amount of meat.
travel through the day, and you probably will want to make camp a little bit earlier so you have plenty of time to deal with the meat.
Hey,
If-
Soren.
If you want
Darvan, slow down a second.
to... Darvan stops.
We're thinking maybe we should stop. We had just picked up all that meat earlier today. I'm thinking maybe we should stop sooner for today so we can have time to
Cook it.
prepare the meat for long distance transport.
Darvan shrugs. Might not be a bad idea.
Oh.
You probably won't have time to like fully smoke it or something or dry it, but you can have
We can at least get it to where it won't rot on travel.
tonight. You
That's
can have a large good meal. Maybe get a late start in the morning. Have a decent sized
Good
meal.
breakfast. Do it.
It wasn't a huge stag. And where you've got Cubla, and I imagine Zenra's a pretty big eater. You know, it.
Soren can probably also make at least a little bit of like a travel mix.
Mhm.
Like smoke a tiny portion of the meat and make it.
Yeah.
So then, salt.
If anyone's carrying salt or something, but
Y'all probably are.
yeah.
So
At
at least
some of it.
Sorin is probably used to preserving meat for long periods of time because he spends so much time on his own
Because he's been
in
alive
the
long periods
wilderness.
of time.
One of his ways of doing it is not going to work because there's not snow in the nearby area. But
Yeah. But I'm gonna say
I vote that we let Sorin handle most of the carrying of meat. You see, he's better skilled in preserving.
I can keep
for a
Cubla
long
from eating it.
that too.
He can preserve it for a long period of time because he's had the most experience being alive to preserve it so long.
There is
Shoves Adin.
a legit.
He was
way
actually talking to us.
There's actually a legit way of like making like a jerky is to stick it under a horse's saddle.
I've heard of that one.
Mongolians did. So you
Yeah.
can kind of do the same with like Zero's backpack.
Probably. So through various methods,
Hey, Inez, can you hold this piece of meat?
through various methods, you guys are this stag will last for the couple days left trip to the town, and you don't have to worry as much about it going bad as just keeping Cubla out of it.
Yeah. Cubla? No. Cubla? No. Cubla? No. Cubla?
But
Aiden,
several members
I guess I will have to distract Cubla. He takes a seat by a tree, pulls out his
spider in a bottle.
There. Her eyes are like really wide right now and staring at the spider.
pats on the head.
Eyes
So-
narrow, kind of stares at him weirdly.
Aiden distracts Cubla
Work a
while
little quickly, please.
Sorin works on various methods of cooking meat, preserving meats, preparing some meat pies that can be eaten cold while on the travel, things like that. Various options. Probably divides the travel parts of it throughout the group.
Hey Darvan, do you have any good ideas on how to prepare meat? I'm sure you've heard at least a few.
He knows some kind of pastry recipe that is a really good travel, like a hand pie type.
Do you make it?
So out of character, all I can picture for that is those JJ's pies we buy here, filled with meat.
Hot
That's
pocket.
all I can picture.
Hot pocket,
That's all I can picture, though.
basically.
Do you want to make some?
He does. They're a little bit scorched and maybe not totally cooked in the very center, but he makes them, and they smell okay. He doesn't have a lot of practice at cooking. It's not something he did much. He mostly ate out. Or had people bring meals to him, because he was the town healer and he lived kind of on his own, so people would bring him food in return for heals. So he doesn't have a lot of practice at cooking. It definitely...
Hey, it's not terrible.
It hasn't got a lot of flavor, but it's food.
Cubla is not sure if she agrees with that statement.
It's not charcoal.
Nor completely raw.
Yeah, just a little tiny bit raw.
So it's camp food.
Yeah, it's about the same you'd get from a tinfoil dinner, you know? Crispy in some spots, not fully cooked in others, not really a lot of flavor, wrapped up in a pie.
Later, Aiden
Crust.
just puts his bottle back in his bag. I swear I
Put
carry
some,
it just for, I swear I carry it just for cat
flavoring.
distraction. And for you, Sorin.
There's an angry cat noise.
So there's several hours of food preparation, both in the evening and in the morning before you go. Once again, nothing really happens at night. It's a fairly... Sorin, you get up a couple times in the night to check on your various... Because you try smoking some of it to see if you can do a really quick one. Some of it you cook, kind of dry it out. You know, experimenting with various things.
Yep.
Then you guys get moving on the next morning. Actually, let me roll to see.
Oh dear.
It was the one problem with the camp this time was that the closest source of water was a 5-minute walk away. It's a very small stream, not really big enough for bathing purposes.
Soren's unhappy.
So you guys get moving on.
Yep.
If you book it, you might be able to make it to the town. It'll be
Who's
a
the map
stretch,
anyway?
Darvan.
Who's the... Hey, Darvan.
Why are we letting Darvan have the map?
He's holding
far?
the map. He probably lets Sorin and other people look at it because he's good at reading a map. He's not good at telling where you is on the map.
Hey, Darvan. Before we get going, let's take a look at the map.
Okay, he pulls out the map. You guys bought it off somebody before you left. And it looks like it's a pretty decent one. Anybody who wants to look at the map and try to figure out where they are can roll survival. Now, Sorin, that must have been a really low roll.
Yeah, it really was.
Um,
Cubla can look, but she's not going to be able to tell much.
Darvan and Saerenrae, you think this batch of trees is this one on the map, but you're not sure. Cubla, you're looking at the bottom of the map, and you're like, why are the humans staring at a blank piece of paper?
Bored. Bored. Bored.
You're much more distracted by the meat that hasn't been packed away yet.
Cubla, no.
Adin and Sorin, you can read the map and you know exactly where you are. And maybe it's a day travel left. Partly the map isn't clear, and partly it is a fair distance, and maybe you haven't walked far enough yet.
Alright, Darvan. You're kind of our group leader in terms of people. If we move really quickly, we could maybe get there in a day, or we can move at a normal pace and take one more night in the wilderness.
We're good on food.
Darvan thinks about that for a moment, and he's like, well, I mean, we're doing well, so it's not like we have to get to town. He kind of looks around at everybody.
I'd rather not walk in where there might be unfriendly kobolds waiting. Tired.
So-and-so kind of nods.
I think it'd be best for us to just go at a normal pace and take it the second day.
We have food enough to spare. Nobody's really tired. But maybe Cubla because of how much bouncing she did yesterday.
Cubla looks innocent. Saerenrae, what do you think? I mean, we could always try for a fast pace, but you never know when you're gonna run into a weird donkey.
Probably play it
Or
safe.
arguing people.
Yeah, the arguing stooges.
That was interesting.
So we'll just kind of go along, not slowly, but we won't rush either.
We will move at about the pace we've been doing.
Yeah.
A steady
Probably
pace.
keep going at a steady pace.
Okay.
But
So you guys set out. It's a little bit later in the day because Sorin needed some more time to pack up all the meat. So it's a little
Dave's
bit
actually
later.
pulled out his quarter staff and he's using it as a walking staff.
You guys are walking along the road when suddenly a cloud passes briefly overhead. The whole group is set into shadow for a moment. And you know, nothing happens. So it was just a cloud going past. Except, shortly thereafter, any emotion that you guys feel is multiplied by 10. It's just a teenage girl amount of emotion where everything is dramatic and you can't handle it and everything is so much I can't even.
So it's Jack Black and Jumanji.
Yes. So as you're going along, all of a sudden, everything you feel is 10 times stronger, whatever that feeling is. So irritation is 10 times stronger. Sadness is 10 times stronger. Hunger is a physical thing, so it's not 10 times stronger. But mentally, your desire to eat is 10 times stronger, Cubla, I guess, maybe? Your judgmentality is 10 times stronger.
Kubla's kind of bouncing around and looking, kind of staring at Sorin a little bit.
Is she excited about anything?
She is simultaneously excited and really wants to eat.
Okay, so she is 10 times more excited!
So she's bouncing.
So Kubla's probably the first one to show things. She is so freaking excited! This is a cat on steroids having cat fits! And Darvan's like, what is wrong with your cat?
I don't know.
Can you not get her to stay still for one instant? And he is just super irritated. And he snaps at Sorin. Can't you keep your cat under control?
Darvan, have you ever tried to keep a cat under control?
So Sorin is exasperated, but 10 times more so.
Yep.
Adin, what are you thinking? And Saerenrae, what are you thinking?
Just wanted to get to the town.
10 times more determined!
You are filled with determination? So you are just stoically ignoring them.
Pretty much.
So the other two members are 10 times more disinterested.
Pretty much.
I guess so. Darvan picks up a rock.
I'm imagining
chucks at it.
so-and-so is 10 times more stare at Sorin.
Yep. 10 times more lustful.
Yep.
He's like sidling very close.
10 times more butt wiggle.
So-and-so now is not the time.
Darvan chucks a rock at
All would be
Cubla.
funnier if this spell only affected the living. So Sora's going, what the hell is going on?
That would also be very entertaining.
Nah, it affects everybody.
Yeah.
Just get that to the
Suddenly Cubla is now 10 times angry. Leap!
Darvan is 10 times more scared! And he runs! He's like, oh no, the fact. No.
Chase.
All of a sudden they pass under a cloud. And they are 10 times less angry. And 10 times less scared.
But still scared and angry.
Still scared and angry, but way less so, and Darvan almost falls over, because what the heck? That was weird. And
our people become 10 times less disinterested?
Huh?
In a few more steps, you guys will all also pass under the cloud.
Everyone passes under?
Yep. You are suddenly 10 times more interested, technically.
What? Aiden stopped, so he had noticed them.
Hello? Ding!
Hi.
Hello!
Tori!
It's okay.
We've just been traveling.
figured
down on everyone going the heck, Sorin.
I figured everybody. I figured that there was craziness going on of some kind.
Sorry, old friends. Wave hi, old friends. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm waving.
Yeah, Adam
You
and
can't
Michael.
see us waving, but I am waving.
We went to see Jumanji.
Wasn't
Ooh,
it
that's
awesome?
It was awesome.
It's okay, at one point we were having the excitement values of teenage
Everything.
girls.
So
Let's
we had our people were as over the top as Jack Black.
Yes.
Yeah.
All emotion was 10 times stronger.
Wow.
You just missed it because we just came out from that section of the area where all emotions were multiplied. Brief rundown of the things that have happened.
The three people.
Three Stooges.
There was what's in the box. It
We
was.
still don't know what's in the box.
We don't know.
We didn't stop. We just walked right on past. They were arguing
It sounds
about
like
the
treasure.
box. Some kind of treasure, but the halfling was like, "It's my box, so now you've put stuff in it and it's mine." And the elf is like, "No, it's all our treasure." And the human was like, "Wait, what was in the box?" So yeah, that was entertaining, but they walked right past. And then while Darvan was going to the bathroom, a raven stole his coin bag.
Okay.
And then there was a stop for the night. Nothing really happened. Then
Wait, Cubla killed the raven. Like, hardcore. Killed the raven.
Cubla killed the raven.
Cubla,
Then-
hardcore.
The next day, there was the run-in with a stag, which Saerenrae and Cubla smashed and killed.
Very fast.
So there's plenty of meat, delicious meat.
There was very little wildlife around, so Cubla was seriously hungry before the stag.
Yep.
So she licked so-and-so's tail. And
No!
Sorin was like, no, wait, stop, don't do that. Only I can do that.
So, for a little bit of background, standing here with me, our druid fell in love with the NPC homo because my character dropped himself down the dragon hole.
I love it.
It was a dramatic fail where I accidentally caressed their mom. And they were
I'm not sure it counts as a critical fail.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was like a success going on.
Yeah. You should not succeed after you critically fail.
It sounds like my strange lineage of known sorcerers at all.
Alright.
Kobold.
So,
That's fair.
people who die at the fair. We almost died at the fair. Very first day. So, I
Just a hermit druid.
So you guys just got out of the place with the enchantment on it that makes all emotions 10 times stronger, and where Darvan threw a rock at Cubla, which was a big mistake.
Yes, mistakes were made.
I see that.
So, Darvan, what in the hell was
Also,
that?
everyone now knows Sorin's age.
Yes.
How old is Sorin?
144.
Nice.
Came up because he was dressing the stag, and everyone's like,
Yes,
wow,
he
you're
had.
really good. And he's like, yeah, that's what you get when you do it for 50 years. And they're like,
He
"The heck?"
had a critical success, and so he was
Yeah.
like iron chefing up that deer. It was
Also,
amazing.
Darvan's 17.
No, Darvan looks like he's 17, is all you know for sure.
I thought he said it after Sorin
No.
intimidated him.
Nope.
Successfully.
He is a babu. He is a tiny babu.
So you
So Cubla
guys.
was all excited.
You guys continue on after the really weird emotion-altering place. That was very strange, and Darvan at least is like, let's not speak of that again.
Cubla is angry at him now.
I'm going to speak of it again because what the hell was that?
I don't know. You're the one who knows magic. I just heal people.
Okay, fine. Fine, let's find out. Let's see if I know anything now. Let me
It was
see if
mushroom
I-
spirits.
It's always mushroom spirits.
It felt like a general area spell that for whatever reason, amplified people's emotions.
Adin says that in those exact terms.
You don't know why it was there, you don't know what it's for, you don't know who put it,
It
but...
was totally one of the demons that wasn't being summoned doing it for kicks and giggles.
It's Shiogura.
Totally. It's mushroom spirits.
The equivalent. It's mushroom spirits. Someone's like, it's mushroom spirits. I am totally sure of this.
Darvan rolls his eyes.
You have been very certain that many things are mushroom spirits.
Well, this time it is totally mushroom spirits.
You,
Do you have any way of proving it wrong? No. Mushroom spirits.
Alright. I get Inez to do some general perception, because Inez doesn't know what the fuck is going on, or at least...
Hey, Sorin, roll me a survival while we're sitting here.
Okay.
There's not really anything to delineate the weird emotion section that you were just in from, you know, the rest of everything. Except for... There is a line of clouds directly above you, about where the emotions changed. Sorin, there's mushrooms all over the place.
Guys, there's mushrooms everywhere.
But only
Guys.
only on the side where the emotions are.
Guys, the mushrooms are in the same area. It was mushroom spirits.
So that means you can probably call it the emoshroom area.
Ugh. Did you do that just so that you can make that joke?
No, I thought of it like 2 seconds ago.
Okay.
Digital Air 5.
What?
Digital Air 5.
Digital Air 5. Okay. Digital Air 5 back.
That was one of the dumbest things we've ever done.
And honestly, I'm gonna have Darvan say that in character. He's like, so... You could call the area we just passed through the emoshroom area.
Oh my god!
Cubla goes to, like, just slam into him. Like, you threw a rock at me and now I had to hear that!
Roll an attack. General attack.
Could you just roll an acrobatics to just, like,
Okay.
slam into him?
Roll an acrobatics.
She's not attacking him, she's just hitting him.
She totally bowls him over.
Should I, like,
And he ends up
same time,
in...
just kind of smack him in the shoulder?
Sure.
Yeah.
Between the two of you, he, like, goes head over heels, lands back in the motion area, and just kind of sits there for a second before he goes, "Why did you
Yep, he's a kid.
Adin leans over Soren. I'm getting memories of Reginald.
Alright. So we're stuck in an emotional...
No, you're not stuck. You guys actually just hit him back into the area. You walked out of it just fine.
Darvan!
I don't know why you guys
Darvan.
keep picking on me. I try to help
Darvan.
and I heal you, and I don't know why.
Inez puts her hands on her hips and goes, "Oh look, he's finally acting his age."
He throws a rock at her.
Sound like a dying cat.
Someone's like,
He throws a
takes a
clump.
moment to compose himself.
He throws a
Walks
clump of dirt at Inez. You hate me! You don't even like me! You've tried buildings on me and tried to set me on fire! You don't like me!
And it's sort of like,
Sorin takes a moment to compose himself, to try and, you know, not have emotion going on. And when I can find...
I would laugh if he steps over the thing and immediately starts laughing hysterically as his amusement emotion is amplified 10 times.
alright, where is everybody in relation to this effect? Are we all in it, or...
Nope. You guys have all...
Alright.
You basically,
Sorin goes in and-
you guys passed under the cloud, which kind of delineates the edge of the emotion area, and you were all standing outside of it, had turned around and were looking at it. Sorin had found the mushrooms there, Inez noticed the clouds, but then Darvan made his terrible, terrible pun, and between Saerenrae and Cubla, he got knocked head over heels and rolled back into that area.
Yeah, I'll just reach over and just drag his ass back out.
Sorin walks over, goes over to him, puts hands on him, and does cure light wounds to make him feel better.
He's not hurt at all. His feelings are hurt.
He's just trying to make him feel better.
It's not physical. You can't cure mental wounds with cure spells.
So, between the warm sensation of the cure light wounds and getting dragged out of the area, Darvan, like, stops and he's What?
Starts still in it, love it. Starts dying.
Like, rolling on the ground.
He managed to keep himself perfectly. He was like 10 times more focused.
Now he's not focused, and the humor
Now
just hit him.
Focused, and now the humor's coming over.
Roll me a d20.
Okay. I'm getting there.
Sorin is literally ruffling. He has fallen to the ground and is rolling around laughing, tears streaming from his eyes. Darvan gets to his feet, brushes off his butt, and looks offended and stalks away.
Aww.
Hey, do you remember what? Do you know Aiden's most common expression is?
Especially when it comes to this.
The Picard face palm.
Cubla comes in, tries to drag Sorin out.
She does not succeed.
Yeah.
Exasperation.
Irritated growl because she's now in the area.
And 10 times more irritated.
Yep. Intense irritation.
We're never gonna get out of here, guys.
I imagine after a period of time, the hilarity starts to die, or Sorin just rolls out of the area, and suddenly it's 10 times less humorous to him.
One of the two.
I vote the rolling.
So, you guys are all out of that area.
Has Cubla gotten out yet, or?
I imagine so.
No. Otherwise, Sorin just kind of gets her to come out.
With food.
And with that interlude over, you guys continue.
La 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 la.
10 times more irritant. No, just kidding. I gotta run to the bathroom. I will be right back.
The totally mature, over a century-old person rolling around on the ground.
Yep.
Laughing.
Give me a minute, I'll be back too.
I don't know how old so-and-so is. I don't know if he's intimidated. He really wishes. He doesn't have an age.
Let's look.
Sorry.
Yes. Do 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 do.
So how is everybody tonight? I'm sorry I'm so late.
They reach adulthood at 14.
Alright. So that's a
So
hell of a-
young. Comparatively young. It really doesn't matter how young.
Truth.
Okay, I return.
Hello again.
So, you guys are traveling. That
I don't
appears...
think, Will left.
Goodbye, Will. Orange juice is amazing. Hello?
Hello.
Hey. I'm just making sure you're still there.
Yes. Is everybody back yet, or are we waiting?
I think we're still waiting.
Okay. Oh, this one's awesome. It's not the one that I get to use next, though. But it's awesome.
And it was totally mushroom spirits.
Totally.
There we go.
I am back.
Alright, so we have Will, Ezekiel. Say hi.
Hi.
Hola.
Yes. I'm back with a nice rum and coke.
Nom.
I hear movement, so he'll be back here in a sec.
One locomotive.
Thank you for that.
Yes. Okay.
One locomotive. One
Yeah.
locomotive.
He doesn't
One locomotive.
have it up there though.
One locomotive. One locomotive. One locomotive. One
Yeah.
locomotive. Oh, I love that one. The barkeeper laughed. The party laughed. The table laughed.
Table left.
We killed the table. It was a good time.
You too will enjoy this.
Oh yeah, you did get to miss all the sharing of pictures we do when we're waiting for someone.
My favorite is still smug.
Yep. Smug.
A smug-looking Smaug in a mug.
Oh my god.
The levels. And,
If you scroll up,
the
yeah.
snow leopard
I
is
will-
cute too.
the snow leopard is really adorable. She posted no.
Oh, they're all so cute.
I love her stuff. It is so cute.
You guys will like this. The barkeeper asked us why we carried weapons on us in the bar. I said mimics. The barkeeper laughed. The party laughed. The table laughed. We killed the table. It was a good time.
Back.
Hey, we're all here now.
Again.
Ding dong, the game's all here.
Unless Will left while I wasn't listening.
You hit the heck.
I was gonna say looking, but there's an issue with that.
Okay, so you guys continue on after the emotion area of which Darvan refuses to speak.
Okay.
Soren's a little bit awkward about it too.
Yep.
Wait, what?
The emotional area.
Darvan refuses to speak of it. The rest of the day is pretty uneventful. You get to another good camping spot. It looks like when you're looking at the map and judging it seems like you're maybe half a day away from the town.
I'm going to interrupt with a not important thing here. I'm glad we don't live in Erie, Pennsylvania.
My parents have to drive through there this weekend.
What's up with it?
Over 50 inches of snow since Christmas
Oh
Day.
jeez.
Yup.
Is it still going?
My on this day
And we
had
got a crap ton of snow.
is when we got a crap ton of snow. Actually, it's when our mailbox was getting close to
Yeah.
being under snow. And not snow that had been plowed up that high, but
Actual fallen snow.
here's the picture.
Yeah, no. Fuck that mess.
Oh.
You are from Georgia, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Idaho.
Fuck that
love
mess.
Here's
Okay.
here's another good image. This would be our patio set.
That's what our patio currently looks like up here.
Are you
It
in
may
Canada
look
right
comfy, but you don't want to sit in it.
Yep.
See.
And that one
It is-
kind of
And
shows you.
It is currently -8 Fahrenheit here.
Eh.
We hit -12 over the Christmas weekend.
Yup.
I looked at my phone at one point.
I should tell Lady.
And that's for
It
right
is
now.
currently. It's currently 30 degrees with a real feel of 25.
Shut up.
22.
Yeah, 22 feels like 22.
I love not having wind. What about you?
Wind is awesome.
It's a rare.
Not having wind.
Alright, let us
Oh.
continue with our adventure.
We were finding a camping spot. It was half day away.
Yep. So you guys go to camp, and you're setting up camp. Sorin has proven himself as cook of the group.
Yeah.
I imagine you guys still have some of Darvan's delicious hot pockets left.
He's like, "Hey guys, you want to eat the travel cakes?"
Yup.
I say delicious facetiously. He rolled very low on his check, so they
It's
are
a usual tinfoil dinner.
scorched on the edges, slightly raw in the middle. Has no flavor at all, but it is edible.
A little better by sticking some flavoring on them.
Inez served
It's not
Sorry.
great, but he tried to save them.
Okay, never mind.
It is what?
I was going to say, Inez surreptitiously tries to use them as alchemical ingredients. It doesn't go well.
Sorin has this like big grin on his face when he asks that.
Sorin also has been finding a number of things for Inez,
Thank you, Sorin.
because you guys have been going through. You know, there's a surprising number of mushrooms, though.
He's been remarking on the mushrooms.
So-
as they
so-
go on.
Nobody's sure if it's because there's a lot of mushrooms, or just because Sorin notices them more easily.
No. Hang on a sec. I
you
want to
didn't
make a
plan.
roll, and I don't. It's not going to do anything, but you know, Inez wants to know if the Sorin has been blessed by some sort of mushroom deity.
Okay.
So I'm going to roll a knowledge religion here.
Okay. As far as you know, can tell, no.
Okay.
You can't even think of any mushroom-based deity. That doesn't mean it doesn't exist, but you cannot think of any.
Inez wants to know if Sorin is under a mushroom spell. Inez is going to use knowledge arcana.
Okay. As far as you can tell, no.
Inez is still very suspicious.
Would you like to roll a perception to see if Sorin is actually a mushroom?
All right.
Does this make him the offspring of a vampire and a mushroom?
Is Sorin a mushroom in disguise? Oh, dear God.
You
Okay,
can
moving on.
roll perception or sense motive if you'd like an answer to that question.
No, nope. Inez is just going to quietly suspect Sorin of being a mushroom.
Okay. The mushroom song from
Aiden.
Fantasia plays.
He's playing with usual.
Alright, so we continue making camp.
Aiden the mushroom.
We eat bad rations.
Well, only if you eat what Darvan made.
But
If you
want-
if you eat what Sorin makes, it's good. If you eat what Darvan makes, it's forgettable.
Okay.
It's edible.
Mm.
Whether or not you want to eat it is a matter of opinion.
It will not actively poison you.
Excellent.
Darvan hasn't had much experience with cooking. In the village, people brought him most of his meals
Sorin's like,
in payment.
I'm not blaming him. He's young.
Darvan rolls his eyes.
Darvan, seriously, most everyone here is young in comparison to me.
Alright. I'm
And I'm reasonably certain I have the most experience cooking. Unless Senra has talents we don't know.
There might be decent at cooking.
Probably. You can... Yeah. Zenra can pitch in and help maybe come offer a specific dish that she knows.
Soren's like, make sure that non-orcish people are able to eat it.
Isn't terrible at it.
So you guys end up having roll to confirm that.
Fire.
Confirm.
Aiden lights whatever
Hey,
it is
Darvan
on
did better.
fire.
So Aiden, whatever you were trying to cook does catch on fire. Luckily, it doesn't catch the entire campsite on fire. Just it, and you managed to put it out relatively quickly. Darvan
He didn't put it out. Soren just kind of leans over and creates water. Keeps going.
So apparently we're having a sudden cooking competition. I mean, you have plenty of stag, so everybody makes something different. You guys can each decide what kind of cooking you want to do. Darvan will probably do a repeat of his Hot Pockets. And they actually turn out, you know, the pie crust, whatever, is flaky and soft. The meat actually has some spices in it, and isn't raw in places.
I see you found the spices.
And he didn't manage to find all the tough stringy bits.
So I hadn't rolled.
So Darvan's making the Hot Pockets. What is everybody else making?
Charcoal.
Yeah,
Who's making noms?
Aiden made charcoal. It's going to take a lot of scrubbing to reclaim that pan.
Aiden, get to work.
Basically.
Aiden sets up a smaller fire so we can put water. Hey, Soren.
Aiden can do the dishes.
Can you get me Can you fill me a pot of water?
I felt like
Great
Gordon
water.
Ramsay was about to start arriving at our campsite and like screaming at us.
Probably.
What?
Terrible.
Maybe Gordon Ramsay, the elf chef, should stop by.
All I can just picture there is the survival check, and Soren literally just goes up to Aiden and does the "What are you, an idiot?" sandwich routine.
So Saerenrae, what cooking style did you bring to the fray?
Meat, veggies, fire. It's a kebab.
Kebab style?
Yep.
It turns out delicious. Inez, what'd you make?
I was trying to think about this, but it'll probably dwarven cuisine. So there's probably some element of vermin in it, but you can't tell where it is because it's actually quite good.
Okay. So maybe some kind of stew or goulash type thing?
Something like that.
Jambalaya.
Jambalaya?
Yes.
That's a fun word. So
Yes.
obviously, svirfneblin, which is a fun race name to say, would have a food as fun to say as jambalaya.
Yep.
So you make that. Sorin, what amazing meal of deliciousness are you making?
He grew up in this like monastery place, so he makes a freaking good stew.
Okay, it is... Okay, Cubla, this almost smells as good as the food that one lady gave you.
Oh my god.
He even has a smaller pot because I have this idea that he's changing to snow leopard every other night or something as they're traveling
You know what?
or something.
Right.
Talked with her. She yelled at him.
You know why Soren is
Has
winning?
small pots of the exact same thing, just without vegetables.
It's
So in the
because
time it took our group to make one dish each and burn a pan to the point of extinction, Soren made two
Stew isn't hard.
Stew.
you know why Soren is winning? It's because so and so is wandering over surreptitiously to everybody's pots and oversalting them.
I could see it. Everybody's like,
so and so
why is-
stop.
It's a good way to have a hand broken.
So-and-so, roll stealth.
Chaotic evil sign flashing on his head. Oh yay! Something I actually have some of. Except I rolled terribly.
Anybody who wants to try to catch so-and-so, roll a perception check.
Okay, so I'm going to rule funny here, okay? Adin doesn't notice, and so-and-so puts enough salt into to whatever he was trying to make, it literally caught fire. To add to his failure as a chef.
Darvan is too focused on actually making the food turn out. Saerenrae, you notice.
Sorin doesn't notice at all.
Sorin doesn't notice, but Cubla does.
Soren's
Except
focused on
Soren's
making
not
his
trying to-
stews.
So-and-so's not trying to mess with that one.
Kubla walks up behind him and is like, puts paw on.
Inez notices.
Excuse notice?
Inez is like, I will light you on fire, lizard, and skewer you like a kebab.
And that is, as a note, that sentence is when Aiden's dish catches fire. And everyone turns.
Yep.
Darvan doesn't. He is very
And Sorin
focused on his
immediately-
things.
Soren's like, notices fire, immediately does create water, keeps going.
Alright.
Inez, how did you do that?
I'm nowhere near it!
How did you say that? And the instant you said the word fire, my dish caught on fire.
Wait,
If
she
I-
said that?
Yeah, I did. I said to so-and-so that I would set him on fire and skewer him like a kebab.
Why?
Putting salt in my food!
He,
So-and-so, stop!
so
I'm helping!
stop helping then.
Darvan's like, it's not a competition.
Inez is like, at this point, it kinda is.
Darvan's like, well, if it is a competition, at least mine's better than yours.
Aiden is literally just trying to scrub it, and Aiden swears he can see more charcoal stuck to the pan than when he started.
Don't you have a spell for that?
Alright, guys, I hate to say this, but I may have to cop out on kitchen hijinks, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm here, and I love you, and Inez will just snark in the background, okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
We're kind of just setting up for next time a little bit.
Yeah, we're
Alright.
mainly just having the travel time.
Alright, I'll check in with you guys later, okay?
Okay.
Alright.
Love you bunches.
Bye.
I don't think I have a spell to take care of this mess.
So after Food Network D&D, everybody has eaten plenty. The leftovers are packed up. You guys are very full, and you get ready for the night. Who is taking first shift guard duty?
Soren offers.
Alright. Zero takes second.
Okay. So we'll figure out who's third if it comes up.
Am I supposed to be rolling a...
Sure, roll me a d20. Okay, so nothing happens during your shift of the evening. Time passes, and the time comes to wake Saerenrae up, and...
Good luck.
Soren's like, hey, Zenra.
Poke with quarterstaff.
It's been
Yeah,
a quiet
kinda.
evening.
Yeah.
The changing of the guard occurs.
Soren goes to bed.
Then I roll a d20 to see if something happens. As you're sitting watching over the camp, the campfire has been banked. It's not completely out so that you guys don't have to make a new one in the morning. You notice a couple of butterflies flutter past you. And then a few minutes later, a couple more flutter past you.
Could I do a nature check?
Sure. So, these appear to be a common kind of butterfly. I mean, it's very strange that they're migrating at night. That never happens. But as far as what you know of this kind of butterfly, they are completely harmless. It's just very weird that they're moving at night.
Yes.
Especially when more show up. Now a dozen flutter past.
I start waking everybody up.
Who do you wake up first?
Probably Sorin.
The one she trusts most.
It's like poke, poke.
Yeah. What's up?
There's a bunch of these butterflies flying around at night.
That's
I don't
unusual.
like it.
There's like 20
Yeah.
butterflies fluttering around the campsite.
Sorin wakes Cubla up. It's like, poke.
Cubla, there's 25 butterflies fluttering around the campsite.
Perks up immediately.
Bugs.
One of them lands on her nose.
Starts going cross-eyed.
It waves its wings a couple of times. Cubla feels sleepy.
Cubla's like, shakes head a little bit.
Butterfly stays on nose. She's not sure what's going on. Maybe it's the way that the moonlight is striking off of the butterfly's wings. She feels sleepy. There's now 40 butterflies in the
She's
clearing.
like trying to bop the butterfly with her paw.
And Sorin and Saerenrae, you guys notice that the moonlight seems to be glancing off the butterfly's wings in ways that make them seem almost metallic. And the pattern of lights is making you guys sleepy. Roll a will save.
Have they gotten anyone else up?
That would
Is this
probably
a
start
mind
waking Inez up.
affecting effect?
What do you mean?
Like, so some kind of effect that would affect the mind?
Not really.
Because Sorin is gets a bonus on saves.
I'll give you a half bonus.
Okay. And it was will save?
Yeah.
Not that I need the bonus, but I want to make sure. It's one of those things you try and get in the habit with.
Cubla needs a roll too.
Oh, yes. Gotta get open, scroll up.
No.
Cubla, you roll over and kind of fall back asleep. Saerenrae, you feel very tired. Like, starting to fall asleep kind of tired. Sorin, you're
Sorin's
awake as your companions
Crap.
kind of start sinking.
Sorin creates water over Saerenrae.
Saerenrae's awake. Saerenrae's still very tired, but no longer actively falling asleep. There are
Then
now
it's probably not happy either.
50 butterflies in the clearing.
Darvan? Adin? Ines? So-and-so?
There's a dozen butterflies on each one of your companions. They're not doing anything. They've just landed on them. They seem to be resting on them.
Do the companions wake up?
Nope.
Okay.
Let's see about stoking up the fire and actually having a flaming,
Smoking.
kind of smoking brand to try to chase off the butterflies.
Okay. You get the fire up again enough that you can basically make a torch and wave it around. The butterflies avoid getting actively hit by the torch, but they kind of follow along behind it as if drawn to the warmth. It is, by the way, fairly chilly in the forest tonight. And the butterflies seem to cluster around the campfire as close as they can get without
Catching fire themselves.
There's now probably 70 or so butterflies.
Are they off of the companions yet?
Nope. The ones that are on the companions are content to sit there.
I just kind of start trying to brush them or take the
butterflies will only move off of your companions if they are actively threatened by the fire. They will move if they are in danger of catching fire, but other than that, they will just kind of hop from section to section as you try to brush them off.
Yeah, I'll start just kind of doing them like with ticks and just start searing them.
They're kind of oddly dexterous for butterflies. So they're very hard to actually, you don't hit any of them with the fire. They fly away just in time, basically. You can try to shake your companions awake. They cannot wake up themselves.
Or you can just do create water trick.
Sorin goes over to Darvan and kind of shakes him a little bit. Darvan. Your food's on fire.
What? He wakes up. Butterflies scatter off of him briefly before landing back down. And he's like, what? I'm not even cooking anything.
Darvan, stay awake. Darvan.
I'm not.
Darvan.
What?
Darvan, wake up.
No, I'm tired.
Darvan, wake up.
No.
Darvan.
You're really...
The butterflies on you are making you fall asleep. Get up.
You're really irritating. What butterflies?
Shakes him again.
Will you stop that? Jeez,
Shake.
stop!
Shaky.
He sits up. Just go away. He's like, oh, butterflies.
Butterflies are making you fall asleep.
How pretty. They're really pretty.
Darvan, don't go to sleep again.
Okay.
I go over there and I just kind of like
create water.
Ah! The butterflies get washed off. They somehow they seem to look at you disgustedly.
Hey, it's my
That
companion.
stare.
Yep, they stare at you judgmentally. Once wet, they seem to have a hard time flying again.
I think you need to do that more with the others.
I notice. Goes over to Aiden. Shake. Aiden.
Flaps him in the face.
Ow! Aiden, the pot has more charcoal in it. Aiden. Shake. Create water.
What?
Get up.
Why? It's still dark.
Yes, but there are
Is it
weird
my turn for watch?
sleep-inducing butterflies.
Did you find the mushroom spirits and smoke them?
Are you smoking more mushrooms?
No. Zenra, there's butterflies, right?
This is not a magic spell. If there's something going on, it's an innate ability of the butterflies.
This is Aiden. If something doesn't make sense, it's magic, so he's rolling. There doesn't seem any magical effects out here, so... Can I go back to bed?
They're,
Probably not going to get it more than
they're
1 hour.
butterflies. It's weird that they're out at night.
Goes over to Cubla. Thinks better of it. Leaves Cubla alone.
Kubla's like
Not
sprawled
creating
out.
water. Not creating water over Cubla. I do value my life.
Darwin's like, I know how to wake her up.
Well,
Hey, look at that spider in the bottle.
flop. Snooze.
It worked for a little bit.
Got it. Aiden just puts the spider in a bottle.
Is somehow over next to him without seeming to have opened her eyes or gotten to her feet.
The butterflies
Sure.
that were on Cubla are like hovering in the air in a Cubla shape.
She's like, hmm?
And then the butterflies look confused and kind of drop
Cubla
to the
looks
ground.
confused.
Because this is...
There's probably now 150 butterflies in the clearing.
How do we get rid of them?
Darvin's like, are they doing anything bad?
Apparently they're causing us to sleep.
Well, that doesn't sound too bad now. It
But
could
what if we
prove
didn't wake
bad
up?
later. Exactly. Now,
The butterflies that you doused have stopped moving.
Sorin kneels next one, touches it.
It's frozen.
Oh, crap. Now I feel bad.
well, I say one of the things that we can do is wake Inez up and have her torch it.
Darwin's like, do you think she can torch the butterflies that are all around us and touching us and on us without also torching us?
Do you really want to wake up Inez?
I say
I'll wake up Inez for certain reasons.
yes for all of the last little bit there.
And I am not dosing water on so-and-so, because I'm not entirely sure if he's warm-blooded.
So-and-so is thoroughly asleep.
Yeah.
But he's sleeping in like that sprawled position where it's kind of sexy looking. And maybe just going to sleep wouldn't be a bad idea. You could curl up next to him and... There's probably 200 butterflies now.
So I was like, what the heck? How do we even... It would help if I knew what they did.
They're clustering at the warmest areas of the clearing. So there's
Which currently is probably the center.
there's a bunch of them around the campfire. They keep trying to land on Cubla. There's a bunch of them on so-and-so. Inez is basically covered.
I'd say for the time being, we build up the fire and see if they congregate more towards it.
Do we still have those multiple cooking fires?
Probably not. You probably put out most of them. Unless some of them are still, if anybody has anything that's cooking overnight. But it'd probably be easy to get them set back up again.
Do we want to set up the cooking fire and see if that helps?
Darvan goes, maybe it would. I don't know.
Yeah. Doesn't hurt.
Yeah. They seem to like the warm.
So you guys set the fires going again.
Yeah.
Get them nice and warm. Before too long, there is hundreds and hundreds of butterflies in the clearing. And they continue to cluster around the warmest areas. So they're almost building up a wall around each of the fires. Because they're landing on top of each other. And just
Have they
kind
gotten
of...
off of Inez yet?
Nope, there's a bunch on her. There's a bunch on Cubla.
Are there any on so-and-so?
Yeah, bunch on so-and-so.
Okay.
Anybody that's warm. Before eventually the butterflies seem to stop streaming in. There's probably at least 1,000 of them in the clearing. I mean, butterflies covering every warm surface they can find.
Can our sleeping people still breathe?
Yeah. Yep. And in fact,
Aiden.
you hear so-and-so snoring. He's just fine. The butterflies don't seem to be threatening to do anything. They're just sitting there, wings waving slightly in the air as they stay wherever they've chosen to perch.
Aiden pulls out his dancing lights, see if they're attracted to the light as well.
Is it just light?
Light.
Nope. No interest. Cubla may be interested.
Like, bright colors twirling around Aiden's hands is all.
I'm sure that the butterflies are not quite as interested in Sorin, because I'm sure he's not as warm.
There's some.
I'm sure he's still warm, but not as warm.
They flutter around him. A few of them land on him. They stick around for a while. He's warmer than the air. It's pretty chilly.
Yeah.
The night passes, unless you guys want to do anything else.
Sorin kind of dozes off. A little uncomfortably, but he's like, it looks like they're not doing anything bad.
Cat napping.
Mm-hmm.
Cat napping when you have a cat.
Waking up every so often to go check on Cubla and so. The important people.
Then is there anything you'd like to do, or are you just going to sit and watch the butterflies?
Yeah. Mostly just kind of...
Check on the fire once in a while, make sure it's still going strong.
Yeah.
Okay. So they don't do anything. The night just passes, and once the sun rises and the edge of chill leaves the clearing, all of a sudden, in a single rush, the butterflies flurry into the air and disappear, except for the dozen or so that got doused with water and froze.
Sorin's like, feel that.
And it's morning, and so stretches and wakes up, and nobody woke me up for my guard stay shift.
Because I took third watch this. I took third watch this time.
Oh, okay.
We discussed it during dinner.
Did we? I don't remember.
Yeah.
So-and-so seems fine. Everybody else as they wake up seems fine. You can keep an eye on them throughout the day, but there seems to be no adverse effects to the butterfly migration.
Aiden's going to roll one more knowledge of nature, this time looking at the ones that froze, see if he can learn more about them in the light.
All you can really tell extra is that they froze to death in the night. As you look around, you see a couple of others that weren't doused with water that have also died, that didn't get close enough to the sources of warmth.
I'm going to make a guess that they came for heat.
Darvan's not fully awake, so he just goes...
Hey, Darvan. Hey, Darvan, question for you. Did you think it was cold last night?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to hazard a guess and say it was the heat that brought them here.
Like, the fire?
And body warmth, probably.
Maybe.
Because it was cold last night.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's all they wanted.
Soren's like, I'm glad that we got up and made the fires, though, because otherwise we would have all been buried in butterflies.
That would have been an interesting sensation.
Aren't you glad we had a cooking contest last night, so we need a bunch of fires?
Yeah, that worked out well. So, I imagine you guys pick up camp. Inez can probably get some alchemical stuff from the butterflies, the ones that were left, so she probably pockets them. And you guys head on towards town. At this point, you are very close to town. It's only about a half-day travel before you get there to the town of Ruinspoke. Let me pull up my information. And you guys can roll some perception checks too, or knowledge local.
Always having to roll twice.
Okay, so Adin, this isn't an area you know very well, so you don't have much information about it. All you really know is that it's a frontier village with a lot of dragonborn. Everybody else, the dragonborn make up roughly 60% of the population. For some of you, especially Darvan, this is the most dragonborn you've ever seen in your life. They're not real common in Darvan's part of the country. It's a frontier village. It was settled by House Jalt, which is led by... Sorry, scrolling up. Scrolling. Jalt is run by a dragonborn named Tuanek, who is a lord of Ruinspoke. So he's head of the family right now and lord of the village. So it was settled by his house. They decided to charter a settlement there to serve as a border outpost for dragonborn travelers, letting them rest and resupply before heading out of the country. So you're actually fairly near the border at this point. It's a pretty big village. There's more than 750 people. As mentioned before, about 60% dragonborn, and then the rest is pretty evenly divided between dwarves, humans, halflings, elves, so on. Tuanek, none of you really know much about him other than that he's the one in charge. He's the lord in charge. You can find out more about him if you ask around. The town is fairly small, but they've got some pretty good defenses. As you are walking through the town, you see signs of some well-trained city guards, and you see what looks like a small garrison on the edge of it as you walk in, which is probably where the guards stay. There's, as you're walking through town, other things you notice, there's actually 2 inns. One is called Hammerfell, one is called Home Cookin'. There's a few taverns that you've noticed, but the one that seems most popular is called the Full Mugs. You see a few different stores, Hickath's General Provisions, Spoke and Spoke, and Trustee's Stables. There's a temple.
What two?
Temple of Bahamut.
Of course.
You know, that's actually what it says. The Temple of Bahamut is the most prominent, of course. There's also a tiny temple to Ilmater.
I'd probably know more what these meant if I've read that section of my 4E book.
Yeah. Ilmater, intermediate deity of the Faerunian pantheon, whose portfolio included endurance, martyrdom, perseverance, and suffering. God of the oppressed and the persecuted. Well, he's a
Someone's probably gonna go there.
lovely person. Anyways, so a couple of temples, number of stores, a couple of them bigger than others. Really only one tavern that's super popular. The others are kind of limping along. Yeah. And a couple of inns. So you guys can... What would you guys like to do? Those are all things you noticed as you kind of went down the main drag.
Soren's like, if you guys will give me a couple minutes, I'd like to go make an offering at the temple.
To who?
To Ilmater.
Okay. Have fun. I'm gonna head to the tavern. I'm gonna head to the tavern because after the trip we've had, I could use a drink. Anyone else?
Soren's like, I'll pass.
As you guys are about to split up, though, a surprisingly short, skinny dragonborn kind of runs down, catches sight of you, and darts towards you down the street, skidding to a halt right in front of you. And he's actually wearing glasses and carrying a stack of books. And he's like, "Ah, you must be the new mercenaries that are here to help Lord Tuinek. Come with me, come with me."
And Soren's like, can I have a minute?
No.
Who are you? Who are you?
Lord Tuinek has been waiting. Come faster.
Please, I just
You don't want to keep the Lord waiting.
Come on, Sorin, let's go. We're not
offering.
gonna get anything out of this guy. Let's go.
Do you think he'd give his glasses to Darvan?
Darvan does not need glasses. The guy is almost like dancing in place. He's shifting from foot to foot, going, come on.
Rabbit.
Pretty much. You're late. Come on.
Watching intensifies.
Well, Dragonborn kind of look like
really
lizards. Dragonborn look kind of like
really
lizards.
excited.
He's like, come along. I hope you guys are more skilled than the last bunch we had. They were absolutely useless. He kind of looks at Darvan and Adin suspiciously as he says that.
They're very useful.
He's like, come along.
Darvan's a healer.
He's a cleric.
Ah. Are you guys all going to follow along?
Sorin does so very unwillingly.
Darvan shrugs. Zenra?
Cubla, of course, is very excited.
This is about how the journey's gone, isn't it, Darvan?
It's like, it's like he's rubbing off.
Are you going along with the group? Zenra?
Well, are you there? Did he disappear while we were busy?
They will!
Maybe. I'll just assume that Zenra goes along.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. There you are. So, the surprisingly short, scholarly-looking Dragonborn escorts you to a large building in the center of town, kind of like a town hall sort of deal, and escorted quickly through the building. You see a lot of different people, but you don't really get a chance to see any of them, because he's like, come along, will you move faster? We're running late. He's been expecting you for days now. And you're...
We didn't really have word that he was waiting.
What? We sent out like 3 weeks for you. I am going to complain to your superiors about your lack of...
superior?
He's not listening to any argument he makes. He's obviously mistaken you for somebody, and he's not listening when you try to explain it. So he escorts you into an office.
Not be angry.
There is an elder dragonborn who is sitting behind a plain old desk, reviewing a stack of papers. As you enter, he rises to greet you. He says, welcome. I am Tuanek of House Jalt. I take it by my assistant's manner that you are the mercenaries that we have been expecting?
No.
Not really.
Oh. Oh, I'm sorry. He kind of scowls a little bit at the shorter dragonborn, who kind of goes, eh? And he's like, well, I am sorry for his accosting you, and I shall let you go
Has he
your
noticed
way.
that we have so-and-so with us anyway?
Probably not.
Personally, I'm picturing Sorin took off his cloak and tossed it over so-and-so.
It's not a
like,
bad idea to have
"Act human."
done, because you guys do know that they're having trouble with kobolds.
Act human.
So-and-so's like, okay.
Act not kobold.
Yeah. You don't even have to act human, just don't act like a kobold.
Tuanek looks a little sheepish, and he says, I apologize for my assistant's,
Exuberance?
mistake.
I don't blame him. It sounds like you're waiting impatiently.
Well, we are suffering from a problem, and I was hoping to get a group that could help us handle it. The last several that we've sent out have not returned. So I apologize that you were taken from whatever you were doing. You are free to go.
What was it you needed help with?
Well, I am responsible for the protection of this outpost. I am the lord of this area. And would you like some refreshments first? Because it appears that you have just gotten here. I could get you at least something to drink while I speak.
Aiden? Sunra? Darvan, do you want something?
Darvan kind of shrugs, and he's like, sure. Tuanek scowls at the shorter dragonborn, and he kind of eeps and leaves. He'll come back a few minutes later with a tray that has a pitcher of juice and some bread and pickled vegetables. So he'll come back with that. So Tuanek kind of gestures towards some chairs. He's like, take a seat if you would like. The problem is that we've been having... The local farmers have reported a series of thefts. Livestock is disappearing, and I was trying to get another band of mercenaries to investigate what is causing the animals to disappear. He kind of laughs wryly while looking frustrated at the same time. I'm sure you are somewhat surprised by this kind of request. We would not normally, I mean, that is to say, finding out why chickens and pigs have disappeared is not normally what one would call mercenaries or adventurers for. But the problem is the group that I was expecting would have been the, he thinks for a moment, third group going out to try to find what is going on. And having two groups disappear already is... I do not like coincidences.
As a sorcerer, nothing's a coincidence.
Yes, I find as it is much better to assume the worst sometimes. It is the easiest way to make things run well, I have found. Now, you appear to be a group of adventurers. He looks at each of you.
It is what we are, kind of.
I guess the best way we can put it is a ragtag group of
If you are seeking jobs or temporary employment since our other group of mercenaries has not shown up yet. Maybe you would be interested in going out and looking around for us. I would be willing to pay well.
Do you have any leads?
Well, at first I thought it was just there's issues with bandits a lot in this area. New Sarshell.
Sarshell had a great problem with them.
I have heard of. They've had a great number of problems. You came from New Sarshell.
Yeah,
we just came through there.
So you would have seen the problems that they've had with bandits lately.
We may or may not have fixed some of that.
We took out one bandit group on our way through.
Well, then
there were some goblins.
I definitely would be.
Are not goblins where we were now.
I would definitely be interested in hiring your assistance since you are proven in this
has
case.
The bard not gotten here yet with his wonderful music?
Oh, good. Bard. Maybe the bard got lost.
Maybe.
Bard? He looks confused.
Yeah, there's this guy who's
a
following.
Bard we've heard has been following.
Not always heroic parts.
If he's following you, how would he beat you to a place?
I assume that we get caught up in the attack and he goes to town.
Oh. No, we have seen no sight of any bard such as that. So I thought we were having the same band. Maybe they got tired of New Sarshell and came over here for fresh blood. And I just hired a group of adventurers that were in town to investigate, and they didn't return, so I assumed they just decided the money wasn't good enough. You know, they went out, poked around a little bit, and decided they did not care to finish. So then I recruited a second, more experienced, a group of sellswords at a higher rate of pay. I figured if I offered to pay them, well, they would return. However, they also failed to report back. The commanders of the garrison believe that the missing adventurers were simply lazy and hoped to pocket the money without doing any work. I feel as if there's something worse going on, though, but I don't want to send our guards out before I know for sure. I don't want them to end up in a situation where they will be in over their heads and we won't have.
You won't have guards.
Yes, who knows
if to cause panic in your town either.
It could be a feint, and so I just want more information before I do anything. We don't have enough troops to stake out every single farm either. There are many small farms in the outlying areas, and you know, we can't be at every one of them because many of our guards that are free are trying to track down and figure out why there are so many more kobolds. That is the other problem we're having.
There are more kobolds around?
Yes, there has always been kobolds, but they've mostly been willing to do their own thing. We did our own thing, but they've been starting to cause many problems.
Could they have any link to the bandits?
Possibly. That's why I need somebody to go take a look.
What kind of problems?
Well, we've seen many kobolds in the ruins. We're not sure what they're doing. The suspicion is that maybe they're behind the thefts, or maybe they know who is.
Did you say ruins?
Yes. There is a reason.
See a smile forming on Aiden's face.
That there is a reason why the town is called Ruinspoke. I don't want anybody to fight the bandits or hunt down the thieves necessarily. I just want to know what's going on. So if you go out, report back with what you find. If you find hostile creatures, if you're able to deal with what is an obvious danger, then that would be wonderful. If you find something that is too strong for you to handle, then I would rather you return so that you can tell us what's going on and we can go get help. And, you know,
So
honestly, the farmers is more what I'm concerned about more than their livestock. They're worried about their livestock. I'm worried about their lives. So far, no one has been hurt that I know of. For aiding Ruin Spoke, we'll provide food, water, and a stipend of gold, payable upon your return and your report. Should banditry indeed be the source of our current difficulties, you may also keep the thieves' possessions if you find them to have value. I would require that, if you do find any surviving livestock or other stolen property, that you return it to the local farmers that they were taken from.
Certainly.
Or perhaps return it here so they can claim it.
Yes, in some fashion that we can return it to them. You know, you would be more than welcome to anything that belongs to the thieves, but that which they have stolen, not so much. The old wizened dragonborn studies each of you intently, measuring you with a stern gaze. That's the situation. If you do not wish to help, I guess we can continue waiting for the mercenaries, but it would be much appreciated as long as you're here.
Which direction were the mercenaries supposed to be coming?
The last group came from the New Sarshell area.
I'm sure you sent a message. Which way did you send it?
Well, we sent a message to New Sarshell, and they passed it on to a group, and I am not entirely sure if they were supposed to be coming from New Sarshell. I believed they would be. That is most likely why my assistant, who came in quite a while ago with that tray of drinks and everything.
I'm sure they're munching and stuff, but
that is most likely why my assistant believed you to be the mercenaries, because you came from the direction that the last ones did. But we kind of sent out a call for whoever was in the area that was willing to help.
I'm surprised that the people at New Sarshell didn't mention that you were looking for. They just mentioned that you had a problem.
Yeah, New Sarshell mentioned that there was a kobold problem in this direction.
Well, it's possible that where we were seeking mercenaries, they didn't want to mention it to a group of just adventurers. Or possibly the DM didn't think about it and hadn't read the module yet. One of the two. So he looks at you all and he is like, that's what is going on. Would you be willing to help?
Someone's like, I'll help.
Darvan kind of shrugs.
I suppose so.
You might get to smash things.
No reason not to.
I'm always
Cubla's still just staring very intently at the Lord.
Is anybody going to
Is that
ask
cool?
more about compensation?
Sorin doesn't care.
You said
If anybody cares.
I do.
As money, I'm from the city, so paranoia helps a little in this kind of thing. When you say a stipend of money, about what does that come to here?
He frowns a little bit. It's a small town, so maybe he's a little bit offended isn't quite the word, so whatever's less than offended by the question, it's kind of a you don't trust me, and he says 30 gold pieces per person.
Sorin's like, part of why he asks is we do have an alchemist with us.
You know,
Her work is
pricey.
expensive.
Oh, the small one.
Though I did get some lessons in alchemy. I do get to find some things for her.
We have a
But yes,
Oracle
the small
also
one.
dabbles as an alchemist.
Yes, it would be 30 gold per person.
My apologies if I offended you.
No offense taken. He does, as he looks around at the group, he kind of pauses on so-and-so for a moment, peering at him like, why is he wearing a cape inside? Why is he so quiet? You can almost see him thinking these questions.
Sorin's like, oh, don't worry about my friend so-and-so. He's a little bit shy.
His gaze moves on. Well, after you guys accept, he bows his
Sorin
head.
breathes a small sigh of relief.
He bows his head for a moment. I thank you for helping the farmers of Ruinspoke and helping House Jalt. I have a few notes that might assist you in your investigation. And I have a map of the surrounding area, a list of the farms that have been affected, and a few other details that we gathered when the livestock disappearances began. I have a handout here for you. I'm going to make that available for everybody to see. You guys should be able to see a handout called 2NX Notes.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there's two different reports here. One is a scouting report, and one is an excerpt from a series of interviews. Do you want me to read them out loud, or do you want to read them to yourselves?
I can read it.
This is thrilling recording.
Uh-huh.
There is silence while the group bends their head over the notes and reads them for a minute.
Oh, hey, I actually got the spelling right the second time I wrote his name down.
The second time.
Yeah, the first time I spelled it 2 as in the number. And then Anek. And then I'm like, wait a minute, that's stupid. Why did I spell it that way? Oh, and it doesn't have a U in Jalt. Oh, well, I like the other way. I'm gonna write it down that way.
Mia is just hijacking the spelling of a
Well,
lore.
so-and-so says hi.
Okay, has everybody finished reading it?
Yeah. We'll still have that handout. Yeah, okay.
It should remain open to you now.
Yeah.
That I've showed it to everybody.
Mhm.
Okay.
Let me
It
Yeah.
pops
So
up
you
in
got a
the
map.
character sheet area.
let me scroll back to.
You said you had a map.
Yeah,
He-
the map is given. It's just not shown.
He has given you a map. It shows the general area of these different farms.
Soren kind of commits it to memory a little bit.
It basically you know generally where everything
Does there
is.
seem to be does there seem to be a pattern to it? We'll have to roll to see if there is.
Intelligence.
Which one?
Intelligence, just a intelligence check. There does not appear to be a pattern. I mean, other than the pattern that it's livestock getting stolen. There doesn't appear to be
A geographic pattern.
a geographic pattern. It is just kind of all over, which maybe is a pattern in and of itself, but there's no specific place, there's no specific times. It's just...
Soren's like, so you said that the kobolds were acting differently than normal? Are you just getting more of them or something?
We've been seeing them more. Normally they prefer to stay on their own and
Very well.
you know, stay away from people, but lately we've been seeing them much more often.
Any specific way, or are they just popping up every so often?
No,
Like on the path?
actually we just kind of see them all over.
Interesting.
Is there any more information that that's everything that I know of, but I am willing to attempt to answer any questions that you have.
So how decrepit are the ruins that are nearby? Is it possible that things could live in them?
Let me scroll down a little bit and check. I just gotta find the right portion. There's nothing real elaborate. You know, we don't have a secret temple hidden in the forest or anything, but there's a few barrows and what used to be old houses. None of them are so damaged that they'd be dangerous to go into, but neither are they really something that most people would want to spend any time in.
So it could be used. So, speaking figuratively here, you could, for example, hide stolen livestock and goods in the ruins if necessary.
Possibly.
Something we'll have to look into then.
Something we may have possibly run into very early on our quest. Anyway.
I would suggest that you begin with the 4 farms that are listed
Probably an idea.
in the notes.
It might be interesting to go talk to Dernth, who is on there even though nothing got taken.
Well, Dernth is a strong personality. He was just one of the farms, you know, when we were trying to find things out, he has one of the farms, so we stopped by, and he was willing to talk a lot.
They cut it down quite a bit to put it in.
Yes, it was much longer before.
Does he have to be more elderly dwarf?
I gotta find... Where is he? You know how it is with dwarfs. Sometimes you cannot tell their age just by looking at them. But he is not a greybeard by any means.
Because I've known more elderly folk who enjoy to tell stories, for example.
I have known younger folk who enjoy telling stories as well.
To be fair, most dwarves do love to tell stories.
Yes, particularly when you get enough ale into them. The elder dragonborn kind of laughs a little. I hear a ding.
It's me.
It's you.
So-and-so currently has a cloak over him and is being told to act not a kobold.
Because you're actually in town now. What happened?
I'm talking to the lord of the town.
After a encounter with about 1,000 butterflies in the middle of the night, who everybody was, well, the ones who were awake were very concerned because the butterflies seemed to have the ability to put people to sleep. It was very concerning. But apparently all they wanted was warmth. So they clustered on people overnight, and then they left in the morning. Then you guys got to town.
Soren felt really bad, or Soren felt very bad about freezing some of them. But...
Yeah, Soren doused some of them with water, and they ended up freezing to death. And
he felt bad.
Inez now has a little bag full of dead butterflies that maybe she can make something out of.
Okay. And
you guys got to the town, and immediately got, well, after enough time to see kind of what was in the town, you were immediately accosted by a kind of young, scholarly, geeky-looking dragonborn who all but dragged you guys to Lord Tuinex.
Also, dragonborn who looked like me.
Pretty much. Shorter. Much shorter.
Lot shorter.
So you kind of got dragged to go meet with Lord Tuinex, who is the house ruling over this village, and because the younger dragonborn thought that you were the mercenaries that had been sent for. You're not.
There's also notes what was that the guy got together.
After the group listened to what Lord Tuanek had to say, y'all agreed to, well, we're here anyways and we're a bunch of adventurers, so sure, we'll go take a look around and see what's going
We
on.
don't have pressing plans.
He gave you a map and some notes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And he highly suggests that you start by going to those farms, and
Yeah.
because some of them have had...
Closest, by the way, to the town.
They are...
I wasn't sure if there was one that was
Let me
closest.
scroll back up from Dernth.
Sorry.
It's okay. So the farms that are listed are about 2 miles southwest of Runespoke. There's about a mile's distance between any pair of farms, so they're probably equally distant from each other. And really not that far from the town. You can get to any of them relatively quickly.
Okay.
And in fact, looking at the map, it's entirely possible that you could try to visit all 4 farms in a single day. It'd be pushing it, but you probably could. As far as you know, though, there's no time limit. You are not trying to figure out what happened in 24 hours. It's just livestock has been stolen, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. He said at one point, normally he wouldn't ask mercenaries or adventurers to do this sort of thing, because it's kind of above, but you guys are going to be the 3rd group going out trying to find this. The other 2 disappeared. So at this point, he has asked if there's any more questions.
Soren's like, I know that it's not very far, but do you think you could possibly lend us horses so that we could travel to all of the farms on the same day?
Tuanek nods. Of course. I will write you a note.
Do you also have a pony for our vertically challenged person?
I
read
heard
Cubla, you know.
Your cat isn't sure what it thinks of me. It keeps staring at me judgmentally.
She does that to everyone. She does it to me, she does it to Darvan, she does it to Adin. She's doing it right now to the Lord Cubla. Stop that, that's disrespectful.
Lord Tuanek gives each of you a weird look. His look lasts slightly longer on so-and-so again.
So
We've been traveling together for a while.
The other thing that you may want to ask him, your previous 2 campsites did not have very good bathing possibilities. You feel rather grimy.
Does your town have a bathing house or something? Or even a nearby good stream or river?
Indeed. I would suggest probably going to the home cooking inn. The proprietor is Amir. She's very talkative. She loves stories. But she treats customers well, like family, and she is a half-elf, and cleanliness is important to her. She has made sure to build a very good bathing house onto the back of her inn.
That is good for me to know. I'm used to living in the mountains where there are good places to bathe. If a bit chilly.
He says he will write a note for you to the stables and also to Amir. And the town will cover the costs for you at the inn and at the stables.
At the stables?
Yeah,
for the horses.
Sorin asked about horses so that it didn't take forever to go to all the farms, because if it's 2 miles to get there and a mile between each farmhouse, plus the time talking, I looked it up, it said that it takes a fair bit to travel that far, but that also speeds it up for him.
Very well.
Well, if you have no other questions, he taps his claws several times on a small wooden block on his desk. The assistant dragonborn returns, kind of bows, and will escort you from the room.
Sorin's like, thank you.
No,
We'll try and get back to you.
it is my thanks that are owed to you for being willing to assist us.
Okay, so recap again for me, who is slow. We are assisting him with
A bandit problem.
Ruin spoke is having issues with livestock being stolen. He sent out a group of young adventurers to investigate, and they did not return. So then he recruited a second, more experienced group and paid them more because he assumes that the first group, the money wasn't enough. They went out, found out a few things, then were like, meh, and they kept going. The second group, however, are more experienced, and he was willing to pay them more, and they also did not return. The commanders of the guard in the town believe that the missing adventurers are just lazy. Tuanek believes that there is something else going on, but he doesn't want to send out his troops until he's got more evidence, because they don't have enough people to stake out every single farm. And they are also doing a number of patrols because there is increased kobold activity in the area. And so
it kind of sounds like it mainly is just there's kobolds being seen, which is abnormal.
Yeah. He's not sure if the kobolds are behind the thefts, if they're planning an attack. He's not sure what's going on. Before he commits to any one plan, he wants more information. So since you guys were in his office anyway, because you were mistaken for mercenaries, he was like, this is what's going on, I'd be willing to pay you, or would you be willing to go out and look around? If you run into anything and it's small enough that you can handle it, you know, you could take care of it. If there's any bigger problems, come back and we'll do something, kind of thing.
Okay. That makes sense.
So he is, the town will give you rations, food, water, cover your stay at the inn, lend you horses. You'll get 30 gold pieces per person if you return with a report. And if you come across the thieves, anything that belongs,
anything they own,
anything that belongs to the farmers needs to be returned to the farmers, but anything else you are welcome to keep.
Okay, cool.
So you are escorted from the room, clutching a pile of papers, the notes, the map, the notes to the stables and all of that, and you are escorted out of the building. At this point, if you guys have read all the notes...
Yeah.
I've read them, so...
I read them.
At this point, before you guys split up in the town, because you probably won't want to go out until the next morning, because it is early to mid-afternoon. By the time you got out to the first farm, it would probably be in late afternoon, early evening. If you want to try to... You don't have to hit all the farms in one day. It is possible, but you do not have to. But if you want to, you probably need to make an early start the next morning.
Okay.
However, before you split up, Darvan suggests that you decide where you want to go. For one thing, you may be able to find out some information from people in the town about wherever you're going first. Or even about all four of them. But if you focus on the one you're going to first, it may be the most useful. Also known as the DM wants to know where you want to go first.
I guess the first one we should probably look at. I'd say let's start with one of the ones that has had something stolen from them first.
So that would probably be Farm 1.
I'd say.
Well, how Farm 4 had lots of chickens stolen, even though they set up safeguards.
Yeah, Farm
I'd like to
4.
Which kind of sounds interesting. What?
Investigate the safeguards on the 4th farm, that military dragonborn family.
The 4th one, House Ibeg.
Yeah.
So that may
With
be able to
Tuit
tell you
and
something about.
Because they got
It sounds
past
like they know
safeguards.
what kind of was going on a little bit.
So does anybody else want? The Darvan is okay with whatever.
That sounds as good a plan as any, so we can start there.
Zenra?
Sounds good.
Okay, so you'll plan on going to that farm first
In the morning.
in the morning, and then see from there. You may be able to talk to, because if they're all relatively near each other, the couple may be able to tell you more about the other ones. Also,
Yeah.
I'll probably ask around. I'm heading over to the tavern today, so I'm probably going to. I'll get a couple drinks, ask around there.
Okay.
brief information about the tavern.
You can hear birds.
Yep.
The best
Leather
tavern
strap,
in Ruin
probably.
Spoke is the Full Mugs. Its proprietor is Tamgit, a male dwarf whose pride is in his homebrewed beer is very much justifiable. Bring your own mug, and the first one's free. Just don't cause any trouble.
Aiden probably heads there.
And
There's
Inez,
more people he can ask, too.
Inez, just so you know, there's a garrison of, which is probably where the city guard stays. There's 2 inns, Hammerfell and Home Cookin'. The best tavern is the Full Mugs. There's a number of stores, the biggest of which appear to be Hickath's General Provisions, Spoke in Spoke, and Trustee's Stables. There's a large temple to Bahamut. There's a smaller temple to Ilmater.
I'm sure she wants to go to the Temple of Bahamut. You know,
Yeah, no-
like Lord of Dragons.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean,
So-
probably among other things, but
I'm actually going to copy this information into a handout for you guys,
oh, cool.
because we're actually going to stop at this point,
Okay.
and you guys can, over the break,
Look it over.
look at it and decide what
we
you
wanna
want to
What we
do,
want to do.
and you
That's
can.
I mean, I
Probably.
know a couple of the things I'm gonna do, but because if I remember right, Ilmater is the one.
This is kind of hard to read at the moment. I will make it easier to read.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was like the oppressed and stuff, and that's kind of
Damn,
Okay.
dude.
Soren's history.
That will make it slightly easier to read.
Yeah.
I will make it
Yeah.
better.
Later.
I will make it better later. But that gives you kind of the basic information. You can learn, talking to the assistant Dragonborn, this is the kind of stuff that you learn about the town.
Okay.
So keeping that in mind, figure out what you want to do. You can probably visit somewhere between 2 and 4 locations tonight. You can decide which places you want to go, discuss it with me, we'll figure out what you do before the next time we meet.
Yeah.
I'm going to...
Aiden's going to end his journey at the tavern.
He could
Yeah.
start his journey and end his journey at the tavern. I will count that as 1 if you would like.
But
But...
he'll probably stop in the store restock in addition to ask questions.
So, think about what you want to do. Figure it out. Let me know. We'll discuss it before we meet again.
Next session's on the 10th.
Yep.
Cool.
A week
Sounds
after
good.
my birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
You're a week early.
I sing
And we're-
anyway.
And we're going to be in school at that point.
I'm turning 30. I'm so old.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to
Okay.
you.
With
You're
that,
so young compared to Sorin, though.
I'm older than Darvan though.
Yep.
And Zenra.
I mean, technically, I suppose on that day I will do my traditional Happy Womb Emancipation Day.
Yep. I usually
Can you
tell
take that up
people
from me?
congratulations on the level up.
Probably.
Because we're nerds.
'Cause
We
we're
are
nerds.
nerds.
Okay, with that, I am turning off the recording now that I have told the world that does not listen to us when my birthday is.
Goodbye, world.
Bye.